Hi, my name is Jackie, and welcome to my channel. I've never said that before. I am creating a YouTube channel because my fiance and we bought a van in August of 2019, and we decided to convert it, to live in it, and go on a van honeymoon in it. Her name is Francesca, and Francesca is a 2011 Sprinter with a 170-inch wheelbase and a high roof.
Jackie and Francesca, they go on adventures all day.
She was purchased down in Florida, where we did most of the van renovation that we've done so far, and everything is shaping up. She's being completed right now in Bradenton, Florida. I left him over there for Christmas to put on the finishing touches of the van. So before I go ahead and give a van tour or anything like that, I wanted to talk about what I'm doing on YouTube talking about a van for. The first thing I wanted to really touch on is, what our plans are, where we're going to be going with our van trip, exactly how we got there, and hopefully provide any information for people that they might need to plan their own van trips or to just live vicariously through our van trip. Just for some background, you can find me on Instagram at Jacqueline the Woods, and you can find my fiance on Instagram at Crush Climbing. And we both have done, he's done 4, I've done 3 cross-country road trips so far, and all 4 times for him and all 3 times for me, we have actually done our cross-country road trips in a RAV4. Yeah, I said a RAV4. It is an SUV, and we ended up buying a 2011 RAV4 to go on cross-country road trips in, specifically because it is a really, really versatile SUV RVing car. Trip number 1, just him solo, was about a month long. Trip number 2 was both of us, was 2 months long. Trip number 3 with both of us again was 3 months long, and trip number 4 was 1 month long. And right when we got back from trip number 4 is when we bought Francesca, our child. After traveling around the country a lot like that, and still liking each other, we decided that we were definitely cut out for van life. We are the type of people who definitely won't commit to something unless we're sure that it's going to be something that works out for us and works out for our lifestyle. So we like to do a lot of trial and error runs before, deciding to make a large investment. So when we finally decided on buying Francesca, it was definitely a big decision, and we definitely wanted to just take our road trips that were smaller to the next level. We really enjoy being on the road. Being on the road is something that you definitely suffer when you do it, but it's so worth every single second of just being able to experience so many different things. And as a rock climber, living in a car or living in a van is kind of the ideal lifestyle. It allows you to travel to a lot of different places and cover a lot of ground over long periods of time. And if you do have the flexibility with work or, your life, then it's something that I definitely recommend doing. I really feel like you can go on a trip to somewhere and experience an area for a couple of days, but nothing is really quite like staying in an area and fully scouting out the whole entire thing for an entire month. So that's what we kind of plan to do over the next year. We are going to go for 52 weeks on this road trip in Francesca for our honeymoon. And I wanted to sit down today and talk about how exactly I planned out the next 52 weeks of my life, week over week. So I'm going to talk first about where we're going. Week plan about where we are going with Francesca starting February 2nd. So we will hop in the car and go straight to Arkansas, moving into Arizona the next week. Nevada and Utah, and Nevada and Utah take up most of March and April. The reason why we just have kind of more generalized dates and places throughout this period of time is because all of these are really close within driving distance. So I don't think that we'll have much trouble moving from place to place and being able to like take quick weekend trips based on the weather. So like if it's raining in Las Vegas or if it's raining in Orangeville, Utah, we'll be able to head out to different areas like St. George, or Moab, or even Joshua Tree. Or even Bishop in some cases. That's about 4 hours from Vegas. So we have a lot of different options and flexibility built into the next 2 months. And then we move into May, which I also left like quite a bit of flexibility in here, but Lake Tahoe is a really good season for the beginning of May. We've never made it there before, but we've always wanted to, so I'd like to hit that up in May, followed by California. Yosemite. Yosemite is really, really awesome. We've spent like 2 weeks there the last time that we were there, and it was super, super enjoyable. Both the Valley and Tuolumne Meadows are really, really great, and I just would love to spend some more time there when it's not, we went in like the middle of July last year or 2 years ago, so it was like way too hot to be there. So I think May will be a little bit more accommodating for the weather. Rifle is the next place that we'd like to, or Moab and Rifle, kind of following along that highway all the way over to Boulder. It's either going to be Boulder here or it's going to be Salt Lake City, because both of those are kind of like a really good place to drive to Lander from, and Lander is going to be mostly our destination for the middle of the summer. Lander has like Wild Aras and 10 Sleep and a bunch of different climbing. It's such an oasis of climbing, so we're super excited to spend most of the summer there because the temps are like just perfect, and we normally shift from, we're hardcore boulders, but we normally shift to some sport climbing when we are in Lander. After Lander, we will go up to Glacier kind of once it opens. Glacier doesn't really open its hikes or anything like that for most of the park until the middle of July, so going to wait a little bit to go into Glacier, and then go into Banff. Banff is like one of the destinations that I've always really wanted to go to. I'm not sure if this is the exact week that we'll hit it, but hopefully we'll get to spend like 4 or more days there. And then moving from Banff out west over to Squamish. We have Squamish and Victoria, like all under British Columbia here. Some of our friends live in Victoria, so I just wanted to build that in as like a recommendation for like what we could do. I get a little bit less specific as I move down this list, just because I was throwing in ideas that we would have to look at this list when we are actually in British Columbia and be like, okay, like where are the spots that we need to hit? As it moves into August, we kind of start season in Washington State, so we'll move down to like Index first because that's a little bit more accommodating for hotter. Then Leavenworth is going to be kind of starting in the beginning of September for their season there. Brian's brother lives in Leavenworth, so it's going to be really awesome to hang out with them there. And then in the end of September, moving down to Oregon, going to go to Smith Rock, which the last time that we went to Smith Rock, it was literally 106 degrees in the middle of summer, so I think that it'll be a little bit cooler than that in the middle of September. And then Cannon Beach is somewhere we've always wanted to go. And then Portland is a place that I would like to personally spend a little bit more time. So planning that for kind of my birthday week. September 27th to October 3rd kind of starts our October California road trip. And our California road trip is just like a series of different places that I just listed out of all the places that I want to go into in California. This is pretty much my California dream. I want to live in a van and drive down the Pacific Coast Highway for the entire month of October and like half of November. So I've planned out like a full 6-week series of going down the coast and hitting up a bunch of different places along the way. So I'm super excited to hit all the big ones. We always have a great time in California, so that is going to be a lot of fun for us. And then moving into Arizona and Texas, these are a little bit loose. I think most of our time is going to be spent in Waco if we can make those reservations. Waco is a little bit harder to get in, just outside of El Paso, and spend a little bit more time in Tucson because those giant cactuses are something that I really want to spend a lot of time around. Then after that, Louisiana. New Orleans is another place that I really want to spend a lot of time. Love the culture there. Went last March and really enjoyed it. So if we're passing kind of through it, not really, we want to spend a little bit more time there. Then Alabama and Tennessee during that like peak climbing season. The beginning of December is always a really good month to be in Tennessee and Alabama. So just kind of our favorite spots are listed there. And then moving into the last couple of weeks of our trip, we'll be down in Florida visiting our families for Christmas. And then after that, I've left the last couple of weeks blank because I believe that we're going to be in Chattanooga, and I just didn't feel like filling them in. But this is a Google spreadsheet in a nutshell. It's really, really helpful. I do these for every single one of our trips. As you can tell, like Cross Country 5.0 with Francesca. This is the 5th like cross country road trip that I've planned on Google Sheets, I guess. And it has proven to be like so helpful because even if I don't follow it like day to day planning, I'm able to have like a point of reference as to like kind of what is supposed to be happening. And this is basically a result of Brian and I writing down all of the things that we wanted to do and then us kind of separating it out into the dates that made sense for each area. And we are like primarily climbers, so for most people, like if you're just doing a van trip and you're not like really a climber, this isn't really something that I think would work for you, because we're kind of leaning toward like 60-degree to 50-degree temps in all of these places. If you want to maybe push it a little bit out, you might hit like 70-degree temps in some of these places, which might make it a little bit easier to live in a van without a heater, which we are living in a van without a heater. So cold mornings are to be expected, but it's definitely like prime temperatures for climbing. And additionally, like pros of the Google Sheets are that we can share this with all of our friends and they are able to like come and meet up with us, which is really, really cool. So I would definitely recommend, like whether it's just a weekend trip or whether it's like a full trip, make a Google Sheet, because it's a really good record of all of the places that you've been, places that you've enjoyed. And it's additionally like just such a good way to coordinate with other people's schedules and all that. So that is where we're going and how long we're going for. Covered how we planned it, and I will probably be taking each like place that we go and making it into a like vlog and just like going over like where we are, like what we're doing there, giving like a list of things to do when you are in specific places. I'll additionally be digging into like nutrition guides and like how I plan to eat when we are on the road trip. I'll additionally talk about my job and how I plan to work remotely the entire time when we are in the van, because that is going to be something that is very interesting and kind of, I'm not going to tell you that I'm like a digital nomad or something like that. I mean, I guess I am, but that's not really something that I want to like label myself as, but maybe just tips and tricks as to like how to make that easier. And then just like additionally, I'll put some stuff in there about like where we park and like where we camp. We've never paid for camping in our lives, so we have a lot of really good resources to help you get to a point where you don't have to pay for any camping. And then additionally, I think I might go over like gyms and climbing gyms. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, I'm gonna be talking about it on this channel. It's so weird. And if nobody ever watches it, then this is just a fun record of whatever this weird year of my life is, of me literally living inside of a vehicle. It all, I think, will be really, really exciting. So if you want to hang out with me for the next year in my face virtually and just comment, and I'll be here. And I can't wait to take you along on my journey with me and with Brian and with Francesca. And I think you click a thumbs up or something to subscribe. I'm not really sure. I don't really know anything about YouTube. So like my page, subscribe to my stuff or something. You can follow me on Instagram, and I can't wait to see where we go together.